As most people go about their daily lives, they don't think about the thing keeping them alive, and something that may have inspired their culture. This thing is called the sun. It is important to know about why we need the sun, how it functions, and how it was formed. It may even depend on Earth's energy resources, and possibly the future of life. A greater understanding of something leads to answers and less confusion. More than 4.6 billion years ago, a star started to form in large clouds of gas and dust in space called nebulae. The nebulae then starts to shrink inwards into a ball of gases, a forming star. When the temperature of the star reaches a sufficient level, nuclear reactions begin to occur. Once the sun is fully formed, the number of these nuclear reactions will pass the trillions mark. The protostar then lights up and becomes a true star, and is now producing its own heat and light. As the heat and light reactions build up, the star swells into a red giant, eventually losing its outer layers and forming a planetary nebula. The star is now a hot white dwarf that heats and cools over the next billions of years. Once ceasing to emit light, it then becomes a black dwarf. The sun will do this for the next few billion years, turning on and off, and will eventually form into the G2 sun that we know today. The sun will last at least 100 billion years, and is already halfway through its life cycle. The sun is a huge collection of gases containing mostly hydrogen and helium that has been around for billions of years. Because it's so large, it has a gravitational pull that holds all the gases together. The sun doesn't collapse from the pull because in the core it's burning hydrogen, which generates pressure that holds the sun up against gravity. If the hydrogen ran out, the sun would partially collapse and the core's temperature would rise about 75 million degrees, which would then make Earth's oceans boil. Inside the sun, it's constantly pulling and forcing atoms of hydrogen together to come into a process of nuclear fusion reactions. It's basically like trillions of atom bombs going off each second. The sun produces the warmth we feel right now by emitting neutrons and protons that together are defined as solar wind. The solar wind not only keeps us warm, but also drives our weather with the water cycle. The sun is quite literally all that we are. The sun provides warmth that allows us to live here on Earth, because the temperature on Earth would be nearly absolute zero if it wasn't for the sun. It also provides sunlight for photosynthesis, so plants can exist and produce oxygen. The sun also provides gravity for Earth's orbit to keep it on course with the sun. The sun could provide clean energy for Earth lasting for hundreds of years. Although the sun contains the most helium-3 in the solar system, it is dangerous to mine, the helium-3 being the source of energy. This helium-3 is emitted by the sun and trapped in rock on the moon, so it's more likely that mining on the moon would start much earlier than on or near the sun. Even if it was near impossible to fly to the sun and extract the helium-3, then bring it back to Earth, the sun is still responsible for providing the helium-3 absorbed by the moon. Who would have thought that all the energy we've ever needed was right above Earth?